Good evening, welcome to the latest live edition of Last Bell Boxing. Joined as ever by regulars. Ander, good evening, Ander. Ander. Let's move on to you then, Daz. See, this looks like there's a delay. And Daz, how you going, Daz?
I'm all right, mate. Thank you.
So, proudly sponsored tonight's show by SC Travel and LW Lifting Limited. So, let's move on to the first topic. So, Ander, the first topic is Amanda Serrano, who fights this Friday. So, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, Friday evening in the States, early hours Saturday morning. Quite historic, this fight, Cole. She's pushing the boat out for female fighting here. First world title fight, 12 round, 3 minutes. Hats off to her. You know, everyone's talking about it. Loads of the female fighters saying they want it, but no one's actually doing it. So good on her. I just want your guys' opinions, really. I'll come to you, Daz, first. What's your feeling on it? Do you think it's a good thing for female boxing?
I personally don't think they should go from 10-2s to 12-3s straight away. It's gonna suit some more than others. I mean, listen, it might not even suit Amanda. You know what I mean? She doesn't know. She's not done it. She can have sparred it. She can have done it in sparring and training, but it's totally different. So it might not even suit. It might not suit her. She might come unstuck, mate. The other girl might just have that natural bit of fitness, you know. That's just a natural thing, and you don't know until it's done. You don't know.
With my mum again.
I think it's too. I think it's going to happen, and I think it should happen, but I don't think they're going to go from 10-2 straight to 12-3s. I don't think they should, to be fair. Maybe go 12-2s. Do you know what I mean? To start. But you never know.
Cole?
I think it's a genius marketing ploy by Jake Paul. You know, no one's ever done this before. No one will ever be able to take it away from him. I think it's an absolute masterstroke of a publicity stunt. I'm sure Jack wishes he had this idea because, let's be honest, viewing figures are going to be through the roof, aren't they? Because everyone's going to be intrigued to see whether, you know, can she adapt to this style like Daz says, and people are just going to be curious, and they're going to want to say that there was either in person or they watched the first female fight that was at 3-minute rounds. So I think the fight's immaterial. I just think congratulations Jake Paul and the promotion team, because I think it's an absolute masterstroke.
I agree with you. It's a masterstroke, and but it wouldn't be happening if Serrano wasn't happy with it. I think what'll happen is it'll all depend on how the fight pans out. If it's a bit of a damp squid coming into the 10th, 11th, and 12th, and they're both absolutely shattered and look terrible for the last 3 rounds, it'll definitely never take off. If it's a war for 12 rounds and you know there's a few lulls here and there which you're going to expect, I think what you might find is other promoters might start taking up 3-minute rounds, but over shorter distances, like Daz says. They might do it over 6. They might do it over the 6 rounds. They might do it over 8. They might do it over 10. I think you're right, though. I don't think anybody else will do it for 12 for world titles. I think it will stay at 10. But it'll be a slow process. It won't happen overnight that everyone will do it. It's got to be agreed by the governing bodies, though. Surely, I don't know how Amanda Serrano's got the IBF, WBA, and WBO to all agree at the same time for this.
Money talks.
And also, why wouldn't it want to be why wouldn't it want to be? Can you imagine if one of them governing bodies actually stopped this fight going over 3 minutes? It's a PR disaster.
I mean, the WBC haven't they?
The WBC haven't sanctioned it, have they?
The WBC title's not on the line.
No.
But that's interesting because I think that's a PR disaster, Jack.
It is, but the WBC don't care because they kind of just think of themselves as above everyone anyway.
Exactly, Jack.
I mean, they think they're the historic belt, so I mean,
Well, let's be honest, Jack. I'm not sure where their PR is when they start making belts for crossover fights like they have this weekend. So maybe they ought to pay a bit more attention to the PR.
All right, we'll get into that, but yeah. Sorry, the dog's got an opinion on this, apparently.
Probably makes more sense in you, but we'll move on quickly.
Yeah.
I would. I'll tell you
not
what.
Only, I mean, not only they're making a belt for this, they made a belt for Tommy Fury and Jake Paul, didn't they? And put the winner in the top 40 of the cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
Something crazy like
Yeah.
that.
And they didn't even put them 40th; they put them 38th, which was hilarious because Video O'Reilly at the time was 39.
I'll tell you what,
I think in terms of this 3-minute round, I think you're right. I think this is a pilot almost into a tester to see how it holds up.
I'd be a lot more intrigued if it was Serrano against Taylor or something of a 12-3s.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that would be interesting.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, I don't see Katie Taylor ever agreeing to 3-minute rounds at this stage in her career.
No, I mean, or even if let's say Chantal Cameron v Sandy Ryan did it 12-3s. You know, if that was the type of fight that was going over 12-3s, then yeah, I'd be a bit more intrigued. But
yeah,
you know, this like Carl said,
I'm gonna get up and watch it.
This girl might not even last 12 rounds.
Go on, Daz.
With Serrano.
Go on, Daz.
Oh, I was going to say this girl might not even last 12 rounds with Serrano.
If she doesn't, then the whole experiment's kind of gone out the window. Well, I suppose the 3-minute round thing hasn't. But
what about if Serrano goes and blasts her out in 1 or 2, though?
Yeah, I can't imagine. Serrano don't punch very hard, Cole, does she? So I can't see that happening.
No, but she's very accurate. So the 3-minute rounds could stop her with just a barrage of punches more.
Yeah.
Which actually the 3-minute rounds probably plays to her in that, but I don't know.
The work rate's really high though, so I can see where Daz is coming from. That it might be a bit of a shock to a system over 12.
Yeah, I feel like they could have gone to 10-3s first. Anyone else feel like that?
They wanted to make a statement though, didn't they, Jack? That's why they've done it.
I know why they did.
Or 12-2s. 12-2s even.
Well, yeah.
Daz, you'll know more than anyone. I'm sure she'd have to manage the fight differently with 12-3s, right? In terms of coming down the straight.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, because if she fights like she normally does, we're on a 12-3s distance and she doesn't put this girl away, she could gas out.
Yeah.
Daz, she could do that. She could do that after 6 rounds.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She could gas out. It's, you know, you've got to be so much, you know, more mindful, you know, not try and waste anything.
Not to empty the tank.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be really interesting to watch, which is why I'm getting up for it. More interested in watching that than I am.
I think Andy might be getting up for it. He's only told us 4 times.
I am. I'm getting up for it, Carl. If I haven't told you already, I'm getting up for it.
Yeah, I think you might be getting up, yeah.
But I'll tell you what I won't be doing. I won't be watching the Fury Ngannou fight the day after. So that tells you where my priorities lie this weekend.
We'll move on to that. Let's move on to the next topic. So, Andy, I'll let you take the lead on this. So, Sandy Ryan denied a rematch.
Yeah, earlier on in the week, the news came out that the WBO had put a stop, or they'd rejected the appeal by Sandy Ryan's team for an automatic rematch, which is absolutely disgraceful. The worst part about it is the WBO are the sanctioning body, the belt that Sandy Ryan holds. And they basically say, no, you're fighting your mandatory. So they'd rather see. I don't know, but it's not anyone of the caliber of Jessica McCaskill.
Easy thing to do with this is her team, Seta McCaskill's team. Right, we're getting it on a what? They agree. Put belt in bin. Simple as. That doesn't need the WBO title.
I know what you're saying. Daz. But does Sandy Ryan come across to you as the sort of fighter that throws a world title in the bin?
But
especially how hard she fought to get it as well.
Yeah, but thing is, he's saying that, listen, if she gets that rematch, a 3-belt world champion, because I've no doubt that she wins. You know, what does she want to fight Amanda Chair? And then McCaskill goes on and, I don't know, does whatever. And you know, it doesn't happen. I don't know.
McCaskill won't be around for much longer, will she?
No. And then you're going to have the problem of the belts fragmented again, aren't you? Mate, I don't know. I just think too much is ruled by belts. No, I mean, I don't understand the decision. The WBO coming out with that, I don't understand. But I'm past trying to understand what governing bodies.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that the other 3 belts. I haven't heard. So the other 2 belts. I haven't heard that they've rejected it. I'm guessing they would have been okay with it. It seems to be that it's just the WBO saying that Sandy Ryan's got to defend her belt against Amanda.
Yeah, I think the WBO ordered their mandatory.
It just beggars belief, mate. You know,
I think they ordered their mandatory at the convention, didn't they? And I can't remember who it was.
No.
Even so, Jack. How many times have you seen mandatories ordered? Lee Wood was ordered to fight his mandatory, but he got the Warrington fight instead because
I mean,
you know, he had a promoter that dealt with the situation, and it's the same promoter It's the same promoter that promotes Sandy Ryan. So I don't really understand the issue here.
The one thing I would say,
do the same thing.
The mandatory might not want to take step aside money, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. If the mandatory doesn't want
if
to,
you're paid enough,
yeah, but let's be honest. The Warrington versus Lee Wood was a massive fight. So Eddie Hearn was happy to pay them the bucks. Whereas, is this as big a fight rematch wise? Probably not. So it depends. Like Dad said, the mandatory was probably asking a bit too much money.
In terms of female boxing, mate, it's a massive fight because it was a stinker of a decision. So it makes a rematch.
It's not a show topper though, is it?
No, it's got to be commercially viable.
Well, yeah, it should be.
Yeah, it's not a show topper. I mean, it weren't top at bill in America, were it?
No.
You know what I mean? So, you know, as much as it deserved to be, it weren't. I don't think it was top at bill.
I want it.
No, it wasn't. Jamel Herring.
Drag it over to the UK and put it top of the bill then, because the Americans obviously don't get it.
Doesn't see. Listen, it all boils down to does Eddie Hearn see the earning power? What, like Carl says, what Lee Wood and Warrington had. I mean, would he?
Well, clearly not. Clearly not. It's not the same as Warrington Wood. I'm not saying that. But in the grand scheme of things in female boxing, it's a massive fight because if Sandy Ryan beats McCaskill and gets those 2 belts off of Adaz, then it's a fight. It's a fight for undisputed, isn't it?
Well,
but it all comes down to the bottom line, isn't it?
Fight.
It all comes. Take the rose-tinted glasses off. It comes down to the bottom line. Is a manager willing to step aside for a reasonable amount of money where Hearn can still make profit? It's obviously a no.
By the signs of it, they haven't even been given the opportunity to ask the mandatory. WBO just said, no, you're fighting your mandatory.
Yeah, I mean, I presume that Hearn would have to go through WBO to offer the mandatory step aside money, but of them $50 million, and if they still say no, they say no. It's down to them.
Yeah,
you know,
to
me though,
it's shocking.
To me,
you got to feel for Sandy. You got to feel for Sandy Ryan, mate.
Yeah, I do, mate. But to me, it basically you know, from the mandatory challenges point of view, I'd look at it like this. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll accept some step aside money, but I want a guaranteed shot at the winner.
That's what they normally do, isn't it?
So it's like you're not having a shot at the WBO title, you're having a shot at Unified. So, you know, I don't think whoever's advising the mandatory to turn down the step aside offer, I don't think that's great either, to be fair. But it all boils down to the Sandy Ryan's the one left out in the cold.
Mm.
Because I think what's going to happen, McCaskill, from a boxing point of view, I don't think McCaskill wants any part of Sandy Ryan.
No.
So I think what's going to happen is, even though there's talk of Tasha Jonas v. Michaela Meyer being made, I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't get made and we have McCaskill Jonas.
I was going to say that. There's no way McCaskill wants this fight again. She knows she got beat.
And if Jonas beats McCaskill does, which I think she probably will.
Yeah.
I can't see Jonas Ryan happening because cross promotional. There's so much in the way of that fight taking place, isn't there? Money, cross promotional.
Yeah, mate. This just shows you how one bad decision can affect a fighter's career. Because Sandy could very well be. I think Sandy's the best welterweight in the world. Sandy could very well be left out in cold here and have to either move up in weight or move down in weight.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not right, is it?
There's an option as well. I tell you what I can see happening. I can see Sandy Ryan v Terry Harper in the near future.
Yeah,
that's possible because I think Terry Harper comes down in weight.
Yeah, she mentioned it in her interview, mate.
Yeah,
she said it in her interview. But like I say, I believe she's best welterweight in the world. I'd like her to get the McCaskill rematch, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Carl might be right about the Jonas fight, even if this fight was to happen and Sandy Ryan held the other 3 belts, there's no guarantee that Jonas fight happens because
it don't happen.
Oh, I mean, you know, they can't make the Terry Harper fight, and there's lots of narrative behind that.
What is the issue with that? Enlighten me a bit.
Money, Harvard.
I don't know, mate.
There's
only 2 people that. Daz, there's only 2 people that know the answer to that, and that's Terry Harper and Natasha Jonas.
Yeah, see, I've heard it's to do with trainers. But why, you know, trainers shouldn't have a say in it.
Well, the problem is Joe Gallagher manages Jonas, don't she, as well?
He manages it.
Yeah, so he's looking after a career as well as being a trainer.
Yeah, but the thing is, as a trainer and a manager, you work for the fighter.
Yeah, I get that.
Jonas has just started her own boxing management company, hasn't she? So I don't think Gallagher does anymore. I think she self-manages now.
All right, okay.
Yeah, so
or is she just managing the kids and still leaving that to him? I mean, let's be right. He's not done much wrong in terms of getting a world title fights just recently. There's always been a bit of a, well, I say that the media seem to think there's always been a bit of bad blood between Joe Gallagher and Eddie Hearn, and that's why they left Matchroom.
Mate, there's a lot of fighters seem to leave Joe Gallagher, and they never seem to leave on good terms either.
Well, I'm not going to point the finger at Joe Gallagher because I've got no proof of it, Daz.
I worked with Joe's nephew. Is all I'm going to say.
The thing is, what's Joe's nephew got to do with it?
That's what I'm saying. But I know inside stuff.
Right.
Well, Gallagher, and that's why I'm.
If you want to spill it on the show, Jack, go right ahead, mate.
Just that Joe has
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly Joe has a set way of doing things, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. That's all. And well, I think that might have rubbed up Steffi the wrong way. Or
all I'll say is this, right? Natasha Jonas has been a professional for a very long time. If she thought Joe Gallagher was doing her wrong, or he was in the way of her getting certain fights, I'm sure she won't be with him.
Yeah, you'd think so.
That's all I'm going to say. And the same goes for Terry Harper and Steffi Bull. I'm sure if Terry Harper thought Steffi Bull wasn't doing things right and he was the stumbling block for the fight, I'm sure she'd leave him as well.
All I'd say though,
really
Andy, all I would say is, and I'm not going to name any names, but remember we've had quite a few conversations about Gallagher with people that shall remain unnamed, and they told us quite a lot. So maybe it's not as cut and dry as that. I'm not big for
maybe not, but that's obviously a personal relationship between a certain person and Joe Gallagher. So
well, it wasn't one person, was it?
Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe it was more than one. But what I'm saying to you is that doesn't necessarily mean that because that particular person hasn't got on with him, it doesn't necessarily mean that Jonas has that relationship. So I think there's more than one thing. I don't think there's one person to blame for the fact that the fight doesn't happen. But Daz hit the nail on the head. If these two girls wanted to fight each other, nothing should get in the way. Simple.
That's why I think it comes down to splits. I think possibly, I don't know this for a fact, but Jonas may want more of the pie than maybe Harper's willing to give.
Maybe the case, but I guess that also depends on what promoter gets the fight. Because whoever gets the fight, they're gonna want the bigger percentage for their fighter, aren't they? And that maybe it is down to that, Cole. And it's a shame if that's the case. It's a shame because that fight should happen. But yeah, I mean, let's see how it pans out. I just hope that Jessica McCaskill is the fighter that she's always proclaimed to be and wants to fight the best. And if that's the case, once Sandy Ryan's dealt with the mandatory, they'll get it on.
Well, she's running out of time. How old's Jonas now?
I don't know.
It'd be fair to say she's coming towards the twilight of her career, right? That'd be fair, wouldn't it?
Maybe, mate. I mean,
so she needs to get a move on. I'd suggest.
It doesn't look like she's slowing down. Personally, I think that both Natasha Jonas and Terry Harper are both fighting well out of the weight they should be fighting. And when they fight against the very best in the division, both of them will probably get beat. So they need to move back down. I mean, junior welterweight's probably where they both belong.
Right, shall we move on to the next topic then?
Yep.
So, obviously, Andy's made his thoughts known about his card early on, but let's go through it. So, Andy, I'll hand it over to you for this one.
Right. Obviously, this is a heavyweight card. We'll start from the very, very bottom. And Moses Itauma, he's fighting a fella called Bernath. Jack, do you know anything about him?
I didn't know who was fighting until you just said it. Not much. Like, honestly, I think it's just the standard foreign sort of step up opponent. I just like watching Itauma at the moment because he's still young. I haven't got a problem with him fighting people like this at the moment because he's still ridiculously young.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't got a problem with it. Like, people keep saying, "Oh, step him up, step him up." What do you want him to do? Fight Adelaide? Because that doesn't seem like a good idea. By the way, I just picked the one that was signed to Warren. That's why I picked Adelaide.
Yeah, the problem Warren has though, Jack, and he's always done it. You look at David Adelaide's 12-0. He's fought nobody.
Yeah, all right, that is a point.
and exactly the same thing will happen with Itauma. And then the problem is he's also what the other thing that Frank Warren also does is he'll get them then a shot at something, and they'll get beat because they're not ready because they've not fought nobody.
So Joe in the sidebar said probably the most stacked card we'll see this year.
He's got a point.
Undercard wise, yeah, he actually has got a point. I think
it must be some sight for you, Jack.
Yes, not bitter that I'm not involved in that at all.
I'm sure you're not.
Well, I said it on social media earlier, lads. The only reason this card's as stacked as it is because of the negative feedback from the Fury and Garno fight being made.
I don't agree with that either.
I feel like the Adelaide one was just no, the Wardley one. The only reason that's on there is because they bid for it, didn't expect to win it, and accidentally won it.
I think it's down to the site
on
fee.
the card, Jack.
Yeah, I know it's a great fight, but I don't think they expected that fight would end up with them. And I think once they got it, they were like, right, well, where do we put this? So they just put it there.
I think it's just down to finances. I think the site fee must be a decent one to allow yourself to pay the likes of Joseph Parker, Fabio Wardler, Ituma, Bacola, Takam. You know, there must be a
I don't think they'll be asking for food money. Put it that way.
No, that's what I mean.
Honestly, I don't think any of the opponents will be asking for food money either.
No,
I would.
What? Just on top of that, yeah.
Yeah. Always like food. Always room for expenses.
I mean, yeah, food money's always good to get if you go.
Always room for expenses.
Allegedly, Dad. Allegedly, HMRC might be watching.
Expenses is great. It's great when you're not the match
guys. Moving on to the second fight on the bill.
Yeah.
Makhmudov, who's currently 17-0, and everyone thinks he's the next coming.
I actually rate him.
He's fighting. I can't remember the guy's first name, but Wright is the second name. Anyone got his first name written down?
No, but I know who you mean.
Yeah. Well, again, against
why
a fight that's going to be an easily one-sided fight.
Honestly, it'll be less competitive than Fury and Ngannou.
Yeah. Well, see, this is part of my problem, Jack, and I get what everyone's saying that this is the most stacked card this year, blah, 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 blah. It's the most stacked card Frank Warren's got on for ages, blah, 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 blah. But when you look closer into the fights, it ain't that good.
Also, why?
They're good names, but the card itself.
Not fighting anyone, that's fine. But why is
the card itself ain't that good?
And he on this card, and they're not fighting each other? Aren't they like one place below each other in the WBA rankings? I think Bicoli's 3 and he's 4. So surely they should just fight each other. That would make way more sense. Am I the only one?
That's your match, mate.
That maybe happens down the line or after this fight or whatever, Jack. So now you've said it. Let's
move on. Billy Nelson would take it.
Let me just put a few comments up on the side. So Joe says, you've got to give it to Fiore for getting all his sparring partners on the card. And he goes on to say, getting them all a big payday. Fully agree, Joe.
Fair play to him. He's a nice
bloke. They are his sparring partners, aren't they?
That's ridiculous, though, isn't it? Come on, lads. Come on.
Then, because I didn't.
Come on, it's ridiculous. Moving on to the next fight. 97-year-old Carlos Takam is fighting Martin Bacola. Another brilliant fight on the card, lads. He'll come out and he's with Zimmer frame, and Bacola will knock him out in about 2 rounds.
I mean, Chisora knocked him out, so therefore. Yeah, that was the beginning of the end. Although he did beat Tony Yoka, to be fair. They both beat Tony Yoka.
As we're going through them, lads, just tell me where we get into the good part of the card, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go on. I mean, the Wardley one is good. You've got to admit that.
Yeah, we're not there yet, Jack.
When we get there, I'll definitely be saying that one, yeah.
I mean, does anyone, realistically, come on, Takam's 42 years old. Does anyone think he's got any sort of a chance against Martin Bacola?
No. But I still think that's worth a watch. They're going to they're going to go in the middle and trade, aren't they? There'll be worse fights than that on other cards. There'll be a lot worse fights than that before.
All right, Cole, I'll put it another way, right? If Anthony Joshua was to name Carlos Takam as his next fighter, what would you be saying?
Yeah, but
Martin Bacola and Anthony Joshua.
Not Joshua. How can that even be a comparison?
Well, because it is. The point I'm making is,
it's not, is it?
Where Carlos Takam is in his career. He's done, mate.
Bacola's nowhere near getting a shot at the title. You can't put Joshua and Bacola in the same breath. I'm sorry. That's nonsense.
But you know, Joshua, if that was the case.
I just want to point out, Bacola's actually closer than Joshua to getting a shot at the title. He's ranked 2 by the WBA.
Yeah, but Jack, it's in the who needs him club in there, let's be honest.
I mean, he is kind of, but WBA are likely to order him for the belt.
So just picking up the comments in the side, Imran's put terrible fight. Which fight are you talking about, Imran? Daz, what's your opinion on Bacoli and the old man?
I just think Bacoli's in a bit of a no-win situation here, to be fair.
Yeah.
If Bacoli blasts him out, it's like exactly what you've said, Andy. If he doesn't, and Takam's got a bit left and gives him a bit of trouble, people are going to be, pulling down on Bacoli, aren't they? I think as a fight, it could be quite exciting and worth a watch.
I mean, Jack, who's Joshua talking about fighting? Ajit, who?
Oh, Kabiel, the European champion.
Tell me he's any better than Takam.
I mean, to be fair, Kabiel is European champion at the
But
moment.
Jack, is he better than Takam?
Well, he beat Takam, so yes.
But I'm all about levels, though, Jack. I'm all about levels, though. Is that any more credible, Joshua jumping in with him than Martin Bacoli jumping in with
No,
Takam?
I don't particularly like it, I'll be honest.
So I just think it's a good trade show.
I'll put it this way: Bacoli, I'll still watch his fight just because I think I think he's in.
It would be a lot better. It would be a lot better this card if some of the names on it
for each other.
That's my whole point, Daz. That's my whole point.
But that's not going to happen. That never happens.
Well, but for example, why is Martin Bacoli not fighting Joe Parker?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then we're just going to go back to, which we'll get to, I'm sure, in a bit. Then we'll say, well, why is the best heavyweight on the planet fighting an MMA fighter? Do you know what I mean? It's
okay.
It's crazy.
Are we done with the old man against Bacoli?
Yeah. Do you know if Fury was fighting somebody, like I said earlier on Twitter, if Fury was fighting somebody who had more than half a chance of beating him, we would say this is a good card. That main fight, mate, is absolutely destroying this card.
Well, the part of the night's Wardle, isn't it? That's a part of the night.
Yeah, I'm not saying it. Listen, I'm not saying it's a fantastic card. It's amazing, but I've seen worse.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've seen. Frank Warren puts worse on every single week, mate.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
I've seen worse across the board. Never mind just Frank Warren. Let's be honest. All promoters have put worse cards on than this.
Yeah, you're right. They do. Okay, moving on then. Joe Parker against Keane.
Right. Does anyone actually know anything about this guy? Because I don't.
No.
That's bad if I don't know it.
This is another great fight on the card, lads, isn't it? Can't wait.
I don't think anybody's used the word great, though, did we?
You've all said it's a great card.
No, we've not used the word great. I've said it's a solid card.
Stats, I believe I use.
You're right, yeah.
Which it is.
Does that equal great?
The right-hand side of the card. On the left-hand side, unfortunately, it's not.
But even on the
calm down, Andy.
even on the fight that we've just been on about, Bacoli and Takam, at the end of the day, that's going to be a good fight to watch.
Yeah, it will be a good fight.
But for as long as it lasts.
It's going to be a good fight to watch. It's going to be entertaining.
Sorry?
I think it will go long, Jack. I do.
What, Parker against Dempsey McKean?
No, Bacoli, Takam. That's what he's talking about.
It's not McKean. It's not Dempsey McKean, by the way, he's fighting.
Oh, is it not?
No. It's a random bloke called Keaton from Australia. That's what I mean. Like, he's a guy who's like 21-6, I think.
Right. Okay, that's a.
It's Simon Keane. That's right.
Actually, buy that.
Yeah, that won't be bad.
Who is it? Simon Cowell.
Yeah, it might be. It's Canadian, isn't it?
May as well be. If it is Simon Cowell, there's going to be issues with Beltline, I tell you.
But I tell you what, he must have credibility, just like Wardley, because he beat Eric Molina.
Oh God.
So
Eric Molina.
Right, when we're judging people on beating Eric Molina, what year did he beat Eric Molina in? Because that's how I'm trying to work out.
I think everyone beat Molina at the minute.
Okay, let's forget all this rubbish. Let's move on to a proper fight. Fabio Wardley, David Adelaide for the British title.
No, that's a good fight.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
It's the only one on the bill. It's the only one on the card, in my opinion, lads. It's only my opinion, but it's the only one on the card.
I suggest that's not a cheap fight to put together either.
I have no problem with the Atoma fight, to be fair, as a learning fight.
Yeah,
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
Would not be a cheap fight to put together.
So, Cole, I know you're not a massive fan of Fabio Wardley. So give me your breakdown of what you think happens in this fight, because obviously there's been a lot of bad blood in the build-up.
Yeah, they both can only beat who's in front of him. That, I'll start off with that. But I think Adelaide's going to beat him here. I think he'll beat Wardley. I've said it time and time again. Wardley's going to get found out. Eventually, he's going to jump in with someone because I think he's so limited. I know people say, well, Adelaide's at 12-0, he ain't beat nobody. But in the same instance, he can only beat who's in front of him. So, I'm going for David Adelaide to stop Wardley around round 10.
Gaz? What's your opinion, Gaz?
Yeah, I mean, my internet's just been playing up, that's all. Sorry, guys. We on Wardley and Adelaide.
Yeah, just want your opinion on the fight, mate.
It's two unproven heavyweights for me. It's two unproven young heavyweights going against each other. It's not the end for whoever loses.
There's a cliche, Daz.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is, mate.
Cliche book out. What's next?
No, it's not though, is it? They're both young enough.
Yeah.
Odds is going to be the next cliche that comes out.
I don't think this is going to go 4 rounds, to be fair.
I think they're going to come out swinging, Daz.
I think it's going to be over early. Yeah, I really do.
Okay, I'll come to you, Jack. How do you see it playing out?
I can only see one winner in this, and it's Fabio Wardley. I think that Sokolowski showed the way to beat Adelaide, and then just didn't get it.
Yeah,
and I actually think that eventually Adelaide's going to get frustrated, and I think he's going to swing. He's going to start swinging, and I think he's going to get caught. I'm going to say Wardley in 6.
I've said over the last few weeks, I don't think David Adelaide is anywhere near as good as people are making him out to be. He's 12-0, but he's not fought no one. He's got 11 knockouts. Cole's right. You can only fight who's in front of you. But this goes back to what I said earlier on in the card about Frank Warren. Basically padding records. And now he's got him in with a fighter that has dynamite in his hands. And believe me, David Adelaide gets sparked clean out in this fight.
I won't say Fabio Wardley's exactly fought anyone great.
He really fought anyone. But he didn't lose to Sokolowski, because let's be honest, Adelaide did.
Well, beat Nathan Gorman.
Yeah.
He's British champion. Let's forget. Sorry, Nathan Gorman wanted his best.
Wait, that's obvious.
Well,
wasn't.
Whatever, Daz, he's still beating.
Yeah, well,
that's better than anybody on Adelaide's record.
You can turn around if we're using that terminology. Well, Adelaide didn't lose to Sokolowski then.
Yeah, but he did.
He didn't. He didn't.
The record book don't say he did.
The record book don't say that, but come on, he did.
Well, he didn't. What does it say on Box Record?
Well, what do you think? What do you think of that happened in that fight, Daz?
It's irrelevant what I think.
No, it's not irrelevant. You've said it before on the show. I can always record it, replay it back for you. Right?
Listen, I'm going on. I'm going on what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? We go.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, but Fabio Wardley didn't take him to points. He stopped him. What are you talking about? It's completely different. So
did Gorman not have Wardley in trouble as well in that fight?
Everyone has Wardley in trouble, don't they?
Everyone has Wardley in trouble. It's why he's entertaining to watch.
Yeah,
he ain't going to keep getting away with it, though, is it?
Well, what I'm saying is, right, they're both...
He will at this level, though, Cole. When he steps up any further, he'll get beat.
They've both fought nobody, really.
He wouldn't have got away with that if Chisora caught him, but...
They've both fought nobody of note. Both of them.
No, neither of them fought anyone particularly.
Wardley seems to be this fighter that don't switch on until someone lands on him.
And that's a great plan for an heavyweight.
Now, that's not great, is it? He'll get beat, won't he? As he goes up the levels, Daz. But what I'm saying to you is, I don't think David Adelaide's that person. That's my opinion.
It can obviously
you three had yours. My opinion is Fabio Wardley beats him, and he beats him inside 6 rounds.
He can obviously bang though, Adelaide.
They can all bang at that weight, Daz, can't they? Let's be honest.
Any heavyweight, if they land flush on the chin, has a chance.
Listen, the interesting thing with this fight for me is Adelaide starts quick and Wardley starts slow, right? However, my prediction for it is that's going to happen, but I do think Adelaide's going to walk onto one. I think he may have Wardley a bit wobbly and want ropes, but I think he's going to walk onto one. So I think it's going to be Fabio Wardley that wins inside 4 rounds.
Fair. I mean, I could see that actually happening. So
that's what I think is going to happen. I think because Wardley starts slow and Adelaide's going to start fast, I think he's going to probably wobble Wardley a little bit, but then he's going to walk onto one.
I worry that Wardley's starting to believe his own hype a little bit, so I think he's going to come a cropper. That's what
he will come a cropper, Cole, but not this level.
Well, let's see.
I feel like Wardley is going to be another, not in that his chin's not there, but in that he gets hit too much. He's going to be another David Price, where eventually he's going to get hit and he's going to go down.
Can you imagine Wardley doing that against David Price?
Oh,
I mean, he would have gone to sleep because David Price can punch like hell.
Still be asleep now.
I mean, David Price, if that fight on the Joshua undercard had gone 10 seconds longer in the round, Povetkin was out. Povetkin was like, didn't know where he was. And then the bell went.
I'll tell you what, though, it makes for a really exciting fighter in Fabio Wardley. I know we all agree that he shouldn't be getting it the way he gets it, and he's going to get found out eventually. But it makes for an exciting fighter because you never know what's going to happen.
Found out, right? That's going to be entertaining because we're going to see how he recovers, if he recovers.
Okay.
It's still entertaining. I just don't want to be the matchmaker when it happens.
Moving on to fight of the year, then, lads.
Oh God.
The lineal WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the universally recognised fighter of his generation, goes in against debutant Julius Ngannou. I'm not going to give my opinion on this because I don't want to waste my breath. I'll let you three take over from now on.
Is he fighting Julius Ngannou first to make the night go longer?
Oh, sorry. What did I say?
First.
You said Julius.
It's the excitement. Don't let him kid you. It's the excitement at the bar.
That's me getting that's me getting carried away.
He's fighting his brother Julius first, just to get the light out of it.
Yep, so Francis Ngannou, maybe. I'll try again. Debutant Francis Ngannou. So I'll let you lads, take it away because I don't really want to give an opinion.
Well, I'll jump in first.
I've got to give an opinion. You're giving one, Andy.
We all got to give an opinion on this.
Look at Imran coming in just at the right time, look, for the Fury prediction. How you going, Imran?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, well, living the dream, mate. Living the dream. So let's go to Daz first and see his hand is sulking and won't give a prediction. Come on, Daz.
Do I have to?
My dog can predict this is so obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what. I'll give 2 little sides to it.
I think he's pulled the plug on his Wi-Fi then, so he ain't going to give a prediction.
He's pulled the plug off and he's thrown his Wi-Fi out the window.
Right. From a point of view of boxing, this fight ends when Tyson Fury wishes it to end. When he wants it over, it's over. From another point of view, the biggest genius in all this is Francis Ngannou's manager.
Yeah. He's had a touch. He's had a touch, hasn't he?
Yeah, because, no matter what. I mean, listen, like I said earlier, I think I said it to Andy and you and that on Twitter when some other guys were in conversation. boxing losers here. I mean, what if, right? Like I've said, it's a long shot, and it's to moon and back a long shot.
And some.
But yeah, but any man who's who's as big as he is, even though it's a 0.0.0.1% chance, right? Where does that leave if he switches Fury off? What then?
I won't worry about that too much.
No, mate,
does that
I'm
mean
not.
we're getting
I'm
Ngannou?
not.
Does that mean we're getting Ngannou Usyk for undisputed?
Listen, I'm not worrying about it. I'm not worrying about it. But my point is, we shouldn't be in this position, should we?
Well,
we
it would be
shouldn't.
hilarious because the lineal heavyweight champion of the world would be Francis Ngannou.
Listen. I'll be honest. Part of me wants it to happen.
It'd be funny.
Part of me wants it to happen. Just to say, oh, that's what you get for being disrespectful. Do you know what I mean? I'm just sick and tired of it. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? I just hope that Tyson Fury goes in there and absolutely does what he should do and demolishes him in a round. But he's not going to, is he?
Nope.
He's not going to.
Imran,
don't let him go
show,
10.
fella.
Yeah. I won't be surprised if Fury won't let him go 10 rounds.
Cheers, Dad. So, Imran, breaking down this stellar fight on Saturday night, Fury versus Ngannou.
Yeah, I think there's no point of giving a prediction. I think we all know what's going to happen in terms of the winner. But what I wanted to say, I think it's kind of embarrassing. I've got to the point now where I'm kind of doing an Andy now. Like, I'm not buying these fights. I'm not buying these fights just because, not because I can't afford to, but just because I think it's embarrassing. I watch sport for competitive nature. I watch sport, whether it's cricket, football, boxing, to watch a competitive sporting event. Unfortunately, we're not getting them anymore. Or we are getting them in certain fights, but we're not getting them in these type of fights. And they're hyping them up and they're selling them to the public. But actually, we're watching a circus. It's like going to a zoo and watching a circus act. It's not a fight. We know what's going to happen. If a badminton player plays a tennis player, on a tennis court, who's going to win? I mean, it's quite embarrassing. It's quite embarrassing that actually Frank Warren's actually coming on TalkSport and trying to sell a fight to people, making people out that they're stupid. That we've seen this many times before. We were kind of told the same story when McGregor fought Mayweather, and we kind of saw how that played out. And that was a washed-up Mayweather. This is a Fury that's meant to be. He's the champion. He's the heavyweight champion of the world. It's the heavyweight champion of the world fighting.
Just play devil's advocate for a minute, and I'm not justifying it by any stretch, but hasn't mainstream boxing got to look at itself regarding the best fight and the best to try and get rid of these stupid fights? Because let's be honest, broadcasters, promoters, managers, whatever there's viewing figures, stacking money on the table, that might not be there if the best start fighting the best.
I agree, but I feel like there's certain fighters that are difficult characters. They're not easy characters to deal. And look, like, I don't know who you guys think. I don't know. Like, I know I've had, like, me and Darren we spoke about like Mayweather and Pacquiao and stuff like that. But fighters like that had a great legacy and they fought everybody in their time. That's why we look at Mayweather and Pacquiao as two of the greats, right? And I respect Mayweather, Pacquiao, all of those guys because they fought Canelo even because they fight everybody. But let's be honest, Tyson Fury, he's not scared to fight anybody. We know that he's a great fighter. But at the end of the day, the guy's a very, very difficult character. Usyk's not like that. We've seen Usyk for everybody.
He's not. His management team might be.
But going off their history, if we go off their history, they weren't difficult with Joshua. They weren't difficult with any other fighters previously. And Tyson Fury has
Chisora. That came out later because Derek actually said it, didn't he?
What did he say? What did he say?
You couldn't. They were demanding what sort of gloves were worn. Allegedly, they were demanding how long his ring walk could be maximum and things like that. So,
but in this case, Fury's contradicted himself quite a few times, hasn't he? Fury's contradicted himself quite a few times in this situation.
Oh,
I mean,
it's not difficult, by the way.
say that again. Sorry.
It is, but I'm doing your job for you here, saying allegedly.
Well, but Imran, just playing devil's advocate. So if Fury jumps in with Usyk December 23rd, like they reckon is going to, and he jumps in with Anthony Joshua next year, then you can't level that at him, right? About not fighting the best of his hero. You reckon?
No. Then you've got to say fair play to him, eh? Especially if he beats them both as well. But even if he doesn't beat them, I mean, I think he definitely beats Joshua in my opinion. But again, I think that's the problem as well. I think we're at fault as fans as well, because we kind of crown somebody king. Like Fury hasn't beaten Joshua and he hasn't beaten Usyk. We crown somebody king of this era without them having been the king of the era. Terence Crawford is the best welterweight because he beat everybody. He beat Errol Spence.
This isn't Fury's era. He's just still here. Fury's era was the era with the that ended the Klitschko's. He just disappeared for the most of his own era. He's basically
He's a bit younger than that, though. I mean,
but that's one fight, though. That's not really an era of one fight.
He didn't.
That's not really an era. An era. Klitschko had an era. He dominated.
Everyone else who debuted around the same time as Fury is gone.
Like
the likes of David Price and stuff who debuted around him are all gone.
Yeah, but he was young when he turned pro. He was young.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it his era. Like
David Price wasn't that good in comparison to Fury. No. Hay was there way before Fury.
Yeah, I know. He was there. By the time he got to the level, I'm talking at heavy. I'm talking when Hay went to heavyweight.
Guys, how old is Tyson Fury right now?
35.
30,
right. So he's as a heavyweight. As a heavyweight, he's in his prime.
Yeah.
So he's not past his era, Jack.
It's not his era because of when he made his debut. Because miles on the clock also count. This is my point. If the likes of Klitschko and that are gone, and all right, Klitschko debuted before him, I'll give you that. But like, I'm looking like you got a lot of these guys that were around at the top level at the same when he first got through and stuff. But then you also probably only have 5 years at the top level. Fury's been around for a lot longer than that.
And no, you have as long at the top level. Jack, you have as long at the top level.
He's just still here.
I would argue that's changed, Jack, with sports science and strength and conditioning. Yeah. You can stay at the top a lot longer now.
You have as long at the top level, Jack, as you're able to stay at the top level.
But yeah, you are if you want to be. But that doesn't make... I just don't believe this is Fury's.
Yeah, but he hasn't really fought. Who's he really fought? I mean, he hasn't really fought that much at the top level. He's had like 3-4 fights. It's not like he's had 30 fights.
There is circumstances that they're in, man, isn't there? There was circumstances.
There are. Yeah, I know he's had, again, but they were all self-inflicted as well. I mean, no one told him to.
But that's why he's not got the miles on the clock right, man.
No, he's got the miles on the clock for doing what he did to himself. But what I mean is that he's not fought at the top level. I mean, like he hasn't had an extensive career where he's fought at top level for a long period of time. He's fought a lot when he was coming up. Fury was fighting a lot of. I mean, he was fighting guys that he was easily going to beat, right? I mean, he's not going to lose to Christian Hammer, or he's not going to lose to the guys that he was fighting prior to Klitschko. I mean, no one gave him a chance to beat Klitschko. Say that again, sorry.
A lot of the guys he was beating, we look at now and go, oh, they're this, they're that, they're the other. At the time, they were world-ranked fighters.
What, like Chisora, Hammer?
Was 3 with the WBA. You know, that's...
No, but the rankings...
outside of in the world better than the WBA.
But hang on, Chisora would have been highly ranked, but that doesn't mean Chisora was a great fighter.
Chisora was, according to Vitaly Klitschko, his hardest test since Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, but that was because the era was soft. That was because the era was soft.
And that was a fair few years before Fury fought him as well, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
No, that was after he fought Fury the first time.
Was it?
Yeah. That was a fair few years after he fought Fury.
Look, I don't believe
what are we saying then? You think Chisora is a...
Said he was
one at a time.
Fighter.
So, at that point, you then say, well, hang on. Oh, how can that be the case that Fury's beating a guy who Vitaly's rating so highly?
The only
Vitali
point
was
I
like
was
50.
making
I mean, how old was Vitali when he fought Chisora?
And
Vitali was an old man. Vitali was so old when he fought Chisora. He must have been 40 plus.
I mean,
I'll
Fury,
look
if Fury does jump in with Usyk and beats him and Joshua beats him, I think he can hold his head up high and say, I beat everyone in my era.
No, then he can.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is he hasn't done it yet. So we
No.
shouldn't be crowning someone king that hasn't done that yet. He says he's going to do it.
That is a
When
little
he
bit
does it, then fair enough.
Man. A little bit self-proclaimed that though, isn't it? That I'm the king. A little bit self-proclaimed, right?
No. I'm not saying him saying it. He's a fighter. He's going to say that. What I'm saying, we as fans saying that he's the, we're to fault because we crown people king like Fury, and then Fury says, "Why do I need to fight Usyk? Why do I need to? I'm the best of this era." But
Imran
who makes him the best?
when he fought when Chisora fought him, so the same, only about a few months older than Fury is now. If we said Fury was 35, someone said
34. Fury.
34. I thought it was 35, but so he's not that much of a difference,
guys. I've got
how many fights had Vitali had
in total? Hang on, because he only had one more after this. So he'd had 46 by the time he fought Fury. And what's Fury had now? Hang on,
26, 30.
Let me look it up. Hang on. I'm on BoxRec anyway, so I may as well look it up.
I've got guys. I've got another angle to look at this from. And this might come as a surprise because of our.
If anyone
Sorry,
was asked.
What, Jack?
33.
Right, so nowhere near. I've got another way to look at this, and I know I've slated this fight, and I stand by that. But I think you need to look at this from another angle, and that is, what are the WBC doing about this? What pressure are they putting on Tyson Fury to make him fight a mandatory or to make him fight someone that's
an ordered one
in the top 15 of any ranking body? What are they doing? I tell you what they're doing. Absolutely nothing, because they came out and said, we're not going to make Tyson Fury do anything he don't want to do.
When you said, Andy, you question, what is the WBC doing? I'll tell you now what they're doing. Profiting from it.
Massively.
And that's all that matters to him.
Yeah, and that's wrong, isn't it, Daz? Because what does that send out? What message does that send out to the heavyweight division? That
anything can be done, and this isn't just the heavyweight division.
No,
this is boxing. Anything can be done if the money's right.
So if you look at it from the angle that I've just come from, can you blame Tyson Fury for taking this fight and making the most amount of money he's made in any fight so far?
No,
of course not. Of course not.
And if you look at it again from that angle and say, well, this paves the way. Now they've got themselves into the Middle East. This paves the way for Fury against Usyk. Because if this fight hadn't have happened over there, maybe the Usyk fight would never have got made.
Francis Ngannou wouldn't even make it as a sparring partner for Fury.
I know that. I know that, mate. I get that. But the point I'm making is, if Warren and Bob Arum hadn't made inroads into the Middle East making this fight, because you've got to build relationships, right? If they hadn't have made inroads into the Middle East making this fight and building relationships, maybe the Fury Usyk fight would never have happened.
Does it need
Apparently
to
that's been made within a couple of days.
Does it need to be Middle East though?
Yes, because otherwise, we've said this before, nowhere else pays him enough money, mate. That's why the fight didn't happen at Wembley, because they weren't getting enough money.
No, I mean, I find it hard to believe that.
It's all about money, Daz.
Yeah, I know it is, mate, but I find it hard to believe that to put that fight on, well, in America, there won't be enough money to pay them both.
No, well, there's not, is there?
I think there is enough money.
Right? We're in America, holds a big enough amount of crowd that's bigger than Wembley Stadium. Where in America is that?
Hey, you've got like Dallas. That arena in Dallas.
Dallas is old 78,000.
Well, then you're 2,000 shy then.
Yeah. Mate, there's arenas.
Wembley holds 90. What are you talking about?
Well, it's not about attendance anyway. It's about
that's part of the money that goes into the pot.
The stadiums, mate. The stadiums in America
There's the Vegas one that holds over 100,000.
The stadiums in
But
America.
it's not about attendance, Jack, is it? 'Cause that's a small percentage.
Yeah,
It's all about site fee.
The stadiums in America that could easily hold this. That could easily hold
It
that.
wouldn't generate the money, though, would it? It wouldn't
Also,
generate the money.
The thing is,
America, guys. Can Fury actually get into America? That's the question.
It's very simple. It's very, lads. It's very simple, right? You sell pay-per-views at £50 a ticket, and they sell a million pay-per-views. That's only 50 million. Tyson Fury wants that in his back pocket by himself.
but the thing is, it's not that they've not got the money. It's not that they haven't got the money to do the fight in the UK. It's not the fact that they haven't got the money to do the fight in the USA. They have. The only problem is it's the expectations of the fighters now because of the money that's being rumored around. So, for example, if Fury's thinking that, I could make 200 million or 150 million, the problem is no one can really compete with the Arabian countries because they've got so much. I mean, you can't compete with them if they want to put on a fight because they've got so much money. They've got so much.
They don't care about attendance, do they, man? There's 10,000 people at them fights. It doesn't matter one job.
No. Do you know what,
guys? That's my sole point. Nowhere else in the world can hold it because nowhere else can match their money.
Do you know what puts me off? We having these fights in Saudi Arabia and that is when you've got fights on and the good fights that we like crowd, and you see sheiks in crowd, and they're not even watching. They're comparing what watches they've bought and talking about how they bling their yachts up. They're not interested in the fight.
Well, the atmosphere is dreadful, isn't it? The atmosphere is dreadful.
The
problem is
that's what we're going to come to, mate. We're going to come to the fact that they don't give a shit, mate, about the boxing.
They're not doing it for that purpose. They're doing it for their own self-interest, just to show that they want to become they basically want to take over. You see, they want to take over sport. That's what it is. It's power. It's a power move. It's not. They don't really care about Fury or they don't care about boxing. I mean, if they cared about it, why there's no fighters there?
Though. That transcends. That attitude transcends because me watching it on telly notices that it's like a morgue.
But you're still watching it.
I agree. There's no passion because there's no passion. There's no.
You got mate.
There's no passion. There's no passion from because they're not into like.
No.
There's no fighters from that region. I mean, so if there's no fighters, they're not gonna have the connection to fight. Why they're watching two foreigners effectively.
Yeah,
they're not watching.
Same as a football they're in, man, isn't it? They got marquee players playing in front of 2,000 people.
Yeah, but to be honest, the crowds for football are pretty. I don't really watch it. To be honest,
I mean, they use it as a shot window, aren't they, man? A shot window to look how great our country is.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. But the thing is, the fact is, that's reality now, though, because you can't compete with them. You can't compete with them.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Imran. The problem basically is now that because they're willing to pay. I don't know how much Fury's getting for this fight. I don't know how much Ngannou's getting for this fight, or how much Joshua got for the fight over there. But because of how much they're getting paid, these fighters now think that should be what they get paid for every fight.
Yeah, that's the norm.
Exactly.
So the problem is, Andy, we're not going to get to see the fights here. We're not going to get the fights here.
Right.
So
exactly that, Imran. Exactly that.
That's the problem, though.
But the fighters have got to be held accountable for that. I know I've just said I don't blame Fury for taking the money, and I don't for a one-off fight. But if that starts snowballing and affecting all the fights not getting made because he thinks he's worth 50 to 100 million pound a fight, then that's when you have to start. Fury's got to be held accountable for that.
So what are you going to do?
Well, nothing's going to, and unless the fights happen over there, he don't fight again, mate. Simple.
But
I know, but what you got no power. No one's got any power up there.
I know they haven't been, but we've been talking about legacies, right? We've been saying he's proclaiming to be the best in the area. We all think he is.
You won't care.
But no, he doesn't care because it's all about money for fighters in this generation.
I think the horse is bolted. I think you're going to get B-rated fights over here. You're only going to get the fights over here and Vegas and America, the ones that the Saudis and the Qatar, Middle East don't want. That's the truth of it. And we're already there now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I don't think you'll be able to stop it because they're all prize fighters and it's all about a pound note, which I can understand. I don't say I like it, but I can understand. Because if someone offers you 50 quid or $5,000 to fight, which one are you going to take?
I get all that. I get all that. And it's all about business. Boxing's a business and all that. But don't start comparing yourself to the greatest in the world ever then.
Well, you can do if he drags the best over there, like Usyk. What's stopping doing it then?
It's going to affect.
Why are other fighters not going to get dragged over there if they can get a big payday?
Yeah,
it's not just thingy that loses out though. Fury, you're talking Usyk because there's always going to be that question with Usyk. Or
it's also Gaz. It's also the rest of the heavyweight division because they're all on waiting to see what's going off.
Yeah, you've got. I mean, people are going to say to Usyk, "Oh, you didn't for whatever reason. You didn't fight Fury. That didn't happen." And
I think you will though. I think that's done for December 23rd. I think that's going over. Yeah.
I don't think it'll happen until January. I do think it's going to happen.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure until I see them in the ring, to be honest. Because
I can. I'll go on with that.
I don't think Fury wants that fight, but he's going to have to take it. He's going to have to take it because I don't think he'll be able to handle the question marks.
Listen, I think it's an easy-ish fight for Fury, personally. I don't think he has any trouble dealing with Usyk. You are?
I just think he'll use his size and
I just don't think he'll have much trouble with Usyk. I think he'll just bully him.
Yeah.
Personally. And I think
so Darren, do you think he believes that though? Do you think Fury believes that?
Yeah, I think Fury thinks he'd beat Godzilla, mate, in a fight, to be fair.
No. I think he thinks it's going to be easy, though.
I think he knows it's going to be a tough fighting round, but I still believe, like any fighter, he thinks he's going to win it.
Every fighter, like Fury's a very good fighter and he's very mentally strong. I'm not doubting that he thinks he can win the fight. But what I'm doubting is that I don't think he thinks that's an easy fight, and that's why it's taken so long.
That would probably a bit. I'm not saying Tyson thinks it'll be an easy fight, but I do believe he's going to make it a straightforward victory.
He'll jab his head off.
I think Fury will make it a straightforward victory. Now, I don't think Tyson's going to go into that thinking it'll be easy, but I do think it's going to end up a fairly comfortable win for Fury.
Half of the problem here is Tyson's put all the pressure on himself. No one else is putting pressure on him about Usyk. He puts it on himself by calling Usyk a blown-up middleweight and by calling Anthony Joshua a bodybuilder.
You do realise where the middleweight thing comes from, right?
Yeah, no, I get it, Jack. But
he boxed out middleweight.
Yeah, I know. I understand that, right? But my point is, Tyson's putting pressure on himself by belittling these fighters that are going to give him a tough fight. Usyk's going to give him a tough fight. I don't think Usyk beats him, but Usyk's skillful enough to give him a tough fight. And now Fury's putting pressure on himself by saying he's going to beat him easy. He could beat him and Joshua in the same night if he's, things like that. Coming out with comments like that.
The thing is, I find funny about Fury, a lot of people are giving Fury a tough fight. I mean, Wilder gave him tough fights, a couple of them. He was down. He was almost out in one of them. And then in the second one, he was down. He was, in big trouble in the third one. Not the second one, the third one. Wallin was very close. If that was another fighter in the ring, Wallin would have got the stoppage there. Terence Crawford said if that was anyone but Fury, he would have the referee would have called it off. So there are people out there that have given him trouble. So we need, Fury's not this invincible guy that can't be beat. I mean,
yeah, but there's people who gave Usyk trouble as well.
No, I'm not saying Usyk. Yeah, but again, Usyk's been tested as well. A lot higher level consistently.
Don't you think Dubois gave a blueprint though, man?
Yeah, I mean, but everybody knew that Usyk had. Everybody knew Usyk had. He could be hurt to the body. I mean, Beterbiev dropped him as an amateur.
Did actually?
Everybody.
Yeah.
So everybody knew that.
I don't think there's much more of a test than Deontay Wilder nearly decapitating you in 12 rounds,
yeah.
and then you just wake up, get up, and win the
Mad.
And he actually came back and
rest
tried
of the
to win the round.
Yeah. I think he runs straight over Usyk.
You know what I
Absolutely
mean?
runs over him.
And listen, I'm not for 1 minute going to say Wilder's a fantastic heavyweight. He's not. He's not even in the same league as Usyk, skill-wise, but
Still beats him.
He's probably the hardest punching heavyweight. He's definitely in top 3 hardest punching heavyweights in history.
What Usyk does that gives Tyson Fury problems is he makes Fury think. He makes Fury think because of the angles he brings and the movement he's got.
Yeah, but when Fury thinks, I don't think he can use this, this blown up middleweight shit. I don't think he can use that now because Usyk seems to have grown into heavyweight.
Yeah.
So I just think that Fury is just gonna cut him off, get close to him, and just bully him.
Do you know what?
You're probably right. You're probably right, but that won't happen straight away. That won't happen straight away. He won't jump on him like he jumped on Wilder.
See, I think he will straight away.
Usyk going into heavyweight is actually.
I think he'll go for him straight away because why would you not jump on Usyk straight away? Why would you let him have?
Usyk won't have the power to keep him off.
No. Why would you allow him space? You're just going to you're going to maybe give rounds away.
Yeah, he's not though, is he? Because look, how much longer has Fury's reach than Usyk's? It's got to be 10 inches.
Yeah, but does he want to get into a boxing match with him?
He's good enough to.
Well, of course he is, yeah, but he's also good enough to wear him out straight from start.
Trump style, seek and destroy.
Like he did with Wilder.
Nah.
It's probably a lot easier for him to go and seek and destroy on Usyk because if you try and if you're boxing with Usyk, you're playing Usyk's game strong point as well. And all right, Fury can do that, and he can...
Not with a 10-inch reach advantage, mate. He'll just jab his head off all night long.
True.
I don't think he'll be worried about what's coming back though, Andy. So I think he's just going to feel Usyk's lack of power and just take him out.
Yeah,
I think he might do what Andy says for the first minute or so, just until Usyk tries to throw something, and if he gets hit by it and doesn't feel anything, he'll just come forward and just.
If I were in Fury's shoes against Usyk, I'd basically just do what he did against Wilder. I just think, right, let's
knowing that you got nothing coming back.
Yeah, let's make him uncomfortable. Let's make him uncomfortable from start.
I think you're giving a little bit of disrespect to Usyk's quality by saying that.
Well, Gassiev managed to land on him.
Why? I'm not being disrespectful to Usyk. I'm just being realistic.
Yeah, I still think he's got. I think Fury can win
you can't compare Usyk to Wilder. Wilder can't fight on the back foot. That's why Fury put it on him. He didn't know what to do. Usyk knows what to do when he's.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able. He's not going to be able to do that, V Fury.
Not for 12 rounds. He's not. Does I agree? No. But he will do for the first 3 or 4.
I don't think so. I think Fury's going to.
That's why I think Usyk. That's why I think Fury will box him from the outside for the first part of the fight. Until he gets him tired, and then he'll jump on him because then Usyk won't have the movement.
Maybe so, but what do you think Lewis would have done with Usyk?
Kept him on the jab.
See, I think
Lewis is a naturally bigger puncher than Fury, though, and he's very.
I think Lewis would have been come forward behind jab. I think Lewis would have come forward behind jab, and when he got up close, I think Lewis would have hit Usyk anywhere.
Yeah,
and lent on him everything.
Yeah, he would have. He'd have big manned him, and he'd have put them big body shots in. But like you say, he would have hit him anywhere. Fury's capable of doing that. I'm not saying he isn't, but it's a completely different fight than the Wilder fight, is what I'm saying. Because Wilder does not know how to fight on the back foot.
I cannot come up with any scenario where Usyk's got a cat in hell chance in this fight.
No, I can't either.
But you did say that, Carl, about Joshua.
Yeah, we started about Joshua because let's not pretend Joshua's in Fury's
No.
league.
Hang on. Cole. When we spoke about Joshua v Usyk, you said Joshua has. I mean, Usyk
I've
has
just said
no
Imran,
chance
I've
against
just said-
Joshua.
I've just said that,
Imran,
Imran.
Imran,
No, but we're saying
Come
that
on,
now.
like
We're saying that now
comparing
after he
trophies.
beat him.
Imran, I'll put my hands
No.
up, mate.
Hang on.
I'll put
You're
my
saying
hands up,
that now
Imran.
that Usyk's beaten him,
I'll
but
put my
not
hands
at
up,
that
Imran.
time. You did say
Well,
that.
then you can tell me I'm wrong again.
So
if Joshua
if-
big man Usyk and played to his strengths, he would have beat Usyk. But he weren't good enough.
Yeah,
I'll
but
put my hands
how
up,
do you
Imran.
bring man? It's not. It's easier said than done, though, isn't it? A
Yeah,
lot
but
of people
come
would
on,
have tried to
Fury's
big
a
man
lot
him.
better technically than Joshua will ever be, right?
No,
on.
he is, but he's not as quick as
Well, it's a
Usyk.
nonsense
His
argument
feet are
then,
not as
isn't
quick as
it?
Usyk. He's big
Well,
and
it's a nonsense
sloppy.
argument then.
If you look
isn't
at
it?
Fury, Fury's career, look through it all out his career, Fury's sloppy.
But let's
He's
look
very
at the
sloppy.
Yeah, but let's talk about the quality in man.
Mate, Fury's fast.
He's fast, but he's sloppy. He's not as
Fury's
well
fast.
coordinated. Like he's not as well coordinated as Usyk. Usyk's smaller, so he's better coordinated.
That's
Fury's
like
a
me
lot
saying,
bigger.
well, look at
He's
him
taller.
against
He's longer.
Chisora.
He's lanky.
He
He's langly.
he had life and death against Derek Chisora. Yeah, didn't he?
What's that got? What's that?
Well, that's like you comparing Joshua with Fury.
But what's that got? What's that
That's
got?
like you comparing Joshua with Fury, isn't it?
I mean,
One at a
okay.
time, one at a time,
Fury
one
had
at a
life
time.
and death with Wallin. Fury had life and death with Wallin. He almost got stopped.
Yeah, but Usyk
Well,
hasn't
yeah, but you're
fought
comparing
well.
chalk and cheese.
Comparison there.
Yeah,
One
but
at a
no,
time.
but hang on. Yeah, but come on. If Wallin fought Usyk with a South, I mean, for me, that's an easy fight
I
for
wouldn't have
Usyk.
said that life and death with Wallin. I wouldn't have said that Fury had life and death with Wallin. He got a terrible cut, but I wouldn't have said he had life and death with
But
him.
what I mean is, he should have got the referee. Should have, if that was anybody
yeah,
else.
I think, I agree with you on that, mate. Anyone else and it's getting stopped, but he was comfortable in that fight, apart from that cut.
No, I agree with that. But what I meant by life and death, I mean the result probably shouldn't have gone in his, like, if the referee.
No, anyone
Yeah.
else, mate.
Yeah.
That gets stopped. 'Cause that were horrendous.
Because if that had got stopped and he had a loss on his record, Fury would be viewed completely different now.
Well,
and that's
listen,
unfortunately boxing.
I remember him fighting a kid called John McDermott.
Yeah,
Yeah. I thought he lost that fight. I thought he lost that.
And
that was early on in his career. That was
that
early on.
I had John
Fury's a much
McDermott
better-
winning that.
He was a right lump, John McDermott,
He
wasn't
won,
it?
mate. Yeah.
But the
I
thing
had
is,
John-
he's
I had John
improved
McDermott
massively.
winning that. And
Yeah.
Fury boxed him again. I think he boxed him in a rematch and boxed his head off, I think.
I just think
Yeah.
him runs anti-Tyson like he's anti-Lee Wood.
No, I actually like Fury, but I just think that Usyk is. I just think Usyk is a lot better than what people think. I think everybody has been saying that, oh, he's not going to beat him. He's not going to beat him. But I do think Usyk is something special. I think he will show it against Fury, whether he wins. Because I think I think Fury's special as well. But I like, here's the thing: if Usyk beats Fury, he's one of the greatest fighters, in my opinion, of all time. I don't think from what he's done at cruiserweight, and if he beats Fury at heavyweight, he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. You tell me another fighter that would have that kind of legacy, going from cruiserweight to heavyweight, being a super heavyweight.
Evander Holyfield.
What? So you think Evander Holyfield would beat Fury?
Yeah.
Yeah, could have done. Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised.
No, I don't think so.
Could have done.
Evander Holyfield was a different level.
I'm not saying Holyfield would beat Fury, but he could have beat Fury.
Holyfield had a great chin, and he was tough and he was strong and he could box. But I wouldn't say he was as good a boxer as Usyk. He's a better fighter. Yeah,
He was a much better fighter than Usyk, though, mate.
It was in a tougher era as well for me.
No,
Tougher
he is.
era.
Much tougher era. The thing is, sorry, Imran. The thing is, you can arguably say that Usyk is one of the best technical fighters of all time.
Yeah.
But to make a complete fighter, you've got to be able to tough it out. I don't think Usyk can tough it out. I know I've said all this that I've said about Usyk. He can't take a body shot, mate. That's his kryptonite.
Right, lads, I'm gonna have to shoot off.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it to an end now anyway. So cheers, Jack.
Cheers.
Just before we do, then, Cole. Just before we do, let's predict this fight. Let's predict the fight.
Oh, go on then.
Well, Jack, before you go.
Fury inside 5.
Daz?
Fury when he wants to.
Really?
No,
Oh,
I tell you what. Here we go. As soon as you force him, mate. What's it scheduled for? 10.
no, it'd
10.
be 12 because it's undisputed.
It's all, yeah, but you think you're talking
Oh,
about.
sorry, I thought you meant
I'm
the
not talking about.
Ngannou.
I'm talking about Usyk. Fury Usyk.
Oh,
Sorry,
Fury
I
v.
don't think he's going to
Usyk.
beat Usyk in under 5.
Oh, right, sorry. Fury v. Usyk.
Fury points.
Fury
Points.
Fury around 8 or 9.
Cole?
Fury round 6.
Imran?
I'm going Usyk points.
He loves it, doesn't he? He loves to get a spoon
He
out.
loves a bit of controversy, doesn't he?
I'm going Fury points.
So,
Um,
hang on, me and you.
I tell you what.
And that's worrying.
What's Fury and Ngannou scheduled for?
10.
I think.
Right, you've heard it here first. Fury on points.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Really?
Fury
Oh,
could
by
just
the way,
does he just play with him, Imran? He'll make
No,
it last. He'll play with him.
Gas. I mean, Ngannou gas.
Fury's going to carry his shopping bags, mate.
Hang on.
Fury's
does
gonna
anyone
carry him
realise
like a
that this
pair
is
of
now
cheap
being sanctioned and everything?
shopping bags. You are?
Again, Jack.
Everyone realise this has now been sanctioned and everything.
No, not for world title, it hasn't.
No, as in, but like it's been sanctioned by a commission and
W-
everything, so
yeah.
it's no longer an exhibition.
Yeah, it's not for a title.
No, it isn't for the title, thank God. I mean, they may as well because it's become that much of a farce. They may as well put it for the flipping title.
No, but
If it were for a title, Fury'd wipe him out in a minute.
Oh yeah, I know. Just for the.
I'll
He
ju-
isn't
I'll
going to
just
do that.
keep
He isn't going to do that, though, Daz, because then it proves what everybody's been saying.
Yeah, this
I'll
is
just pick Joe's comment up in the side before we finish. And Joe said Usyk's cruiserweight run is full of holes if you go through his record. So as Usyk's fan club in, man, I'll let you have a look at that one.
But who did he
Teddy
not?
didn't agree
I
with
mean,
that.
he beat Bradis. He beat
he
Gassiev.
fought some very good fighters as a cruiserweight.
I mean, Usyk fought great fighters. I don't know how you can. He fought Marco Huck. I mean,
I will say though, Imran, I think what Joe's saying there is the cruiserweight division isn't as strong as it was back in, say, Holyfield's day, maybe, or and the heavyweight division isn't either. So when we're saying, and I kind of agree with you, if he beats Fury's right up there, but there's always going to be that argument that the divisions are not as strong now as they were in the 90s or the 70s.
no,
or the 60s.
I agree. I agree. However, but people say Fury's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
No, I don't know who's saying that because I don't believe that.
I don't necessarily agree with it, but people do say that he could have beaten Ali. He could have beaten. He could have.
No way.
I'm
No,
not sure.
no. I don't agree with that. But people.
I wouldn't even put him in top 10.
Carl, you believe that? Not necessarily beats Ali, but you believe he could beat some of the old school heavyweights, right?
Yeah.
You've said it in the past.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So
Due to sheer size.
yeah.
Because as you go back through the generations, I don't care what anyone says, it would have been an absolute monster compared to some of the heavyweights back in the day.
Well, I don't think he beats, off top of my head, I don't, and as big as he is, and this might be me being a bit traditionalist.
Romantic is a word I'd use.
Yeah, probably, but I don't think he beats Jack Dempsey.
Right, I'm going to shoot anyway.
I don't
cheers.
think he beats Jack Johnson. I don't think he beats Joe Lewis.
Well, that might have to be a separate show then, Daz, where we have a look at some of the old school fighters and we say whether they beat him or not. Because I would probably be arguing with quite a bit on that.
But I think it's
good
like
on
Jack
that.
Johnson and that. Like Jack Johnson, those guys fought like ages ago. Like I mean, so it's hard to put it. Like I don't really. It's like we can't really compare. It's like people's 100 years ago. We can't really compare that's like what people used to eat, the way people used to walk, the way
boxing styles as well.
I can't even imagine. Like even when I look at people 100 years ago, the way they used to walk, I find them strange.
Do you know what would be
I
fun?
view them differently.
Do you know what would be fun though? And it's like I see where Carl's coming from, and he's probably right. But you know what? Can you imagine Jack Dempsey v Tyson Fury? Jack Dempsey's ready to come out, and Fury's going, You little dosser. What are you talking about? And, you know, can you imagine how Jack Dempsey would like react to that? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like all this jumping around and climbing around. Jack Dempsey would probably be like, what?
Well, I reckon that fight will get announced on Saturday, Usyk versus Fury or Fury Usyk. So if it does, next week we'll pick up a conversation about who would have beat who, and we'll have a bit of a fancy matchup.
It's going to be interesting if Usyk's actually in Saudi Arabia, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe he is.
Yeah, so I think you're right, to be fair.
Do you think he's the most charismatic heavyweight since Ali? Like
Fury?
Yeah.
Yes.
I tell you what, a Fury and Ali build-up would have been better than fight.
Yeah. But do you
guys,
think, like, icon-wise, icon-wise, do you think Fury is that obviously Ali? No one's gonna be bigger than Ali in boxing, but icon-wise, do you think he was bigger than Mike Tyson?
Who? Fury?
No,
probably Fury.
I tell you why. I tell you why I don't, Imran. No, I tell you why I don't. Because Tyson Fury contradicts himself too much.
Yeah.
Tyson. That's the problem. He talks a lot of stuff, and he's very, very funny. A lot of what he says is accurate because people forget he understands boxing. He's got a very good boxing brain, and he knows his history when it comes to the heavyweights. He knows his history when it comes to the heavyweights. So you can't take that away. But the problem is he says a lot of things off the cuff. I mean, have you seen that documentary? You know, the guy's bipolar. He thinks one thing 1 minute, 5 seconds later he's changing his mind.
Mike Tyson was just Mike Tyson. He was, it was just an absolute enigma, weren't it? People just wanted to.
And also, it's on the front page and back page, isn't it? It's well renowned, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? Right? I mean, Mike Tyson is one of them who forever, in another 100 years, people are going to be talking about Mike Tyson, saying, well, and it's the age-old thing. Tyson at his best would have beaten Ali. Tyson at his best would have beaten every heavyweight in history. Tyson at his best, if Custom Matter would have been 20 years younger, Tyson would have been this out of it. And do you know what? Whether people agree with it or not, that is always going to be an enigma of how
we never know
of what he was, because
in reality, he had 2 good years.
Yeah, and when you look at the life he lived outside, that's a bonus. How was he not dead?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Or in prison.
I'm going to bring the show to an end, lads. All right. So, Imran, thank you very much for joining. Much appreciated, fella. Good to see you. Daz, thank you for joining.
Thanks, pal.
And thank you for joining. Thank you for all the comments in the sidebar. This has been Last Bar Boxing, proudly sponsored by LW Lifting Limited and LC Travel. We'll see you next Thursday, 7 p.m. Thank you very much.